Alrighty, guys. It has been a long time since the last session. Been at least 2 months, even a little bit more. But we finally got back into the swing of things. We finally got to play another session. This time we had Humdu, Meng, and Adrian. We pick up with them in Arcor City with the Duke Rayakis. They discover that the Orison Oriflamme has been stolen from the Basilica of Saint Genice by some elf-like figure. And then at this point in this session, they do some preparation in the town, buy some potions. Then Nimbus, one of the players, joined in at this point, and they go to investigate the elves who they currently have as the prime suspect of being responsible for this crime. So they go to the forest and they find the hidden outpost of the elves, Nalaldathor. They go and speak to Nindalad, who shows them the way to this hidden outpost, and they they ask like Nindalad about the banner, or they use this as like a false pretense, saying that they have the banner in order to get access to the city or the outpost, which they do. They meet the prince, the leader of the elves, Bel Elior, the prince, and for the first time, for the whole campaign, Adrian Queenstone gets to meet with his love, Lady Arwen, who is quite upset with him at this point. The prince sort of uh, asks that they return the banner for them. So, kind of reintroducing that conflict of who do you want to give the banner to. But the prince and the other elves say that this was likely the work of some local dark elves, the Legion of Luvacorth, who they suspect may or may not be working alongside the Corpse Weaver. They reveal that there are spies of the elves that have discovered that the Dark Elves are up to some activity in the mines beneath the dwarven hold of Kern Darum. So the players head there. They go to the mines. They meet with the Thane of the hold, Dartok, who grants them access and entry into the mines. They start heading into the mines, and they run into their first encounter, a giant spider queen, which they promptly kill. Then they rescue two miners that are like wrapped up in cocoons. And we wrapped up pretty early with this session. It was a relatively short one. And now I'm going to have to talk about the state of the campaign, where we are, what the future is going to look like. So, this session in particular, we ended early because we wanted to take a break to get some food. When we got back, wasn't really sure if there was going to be enough time to really finish this session. So we just, started doing some other activities, other games instead. And I don't think that's ever a good sign for the like engagement level in the campaign. Not that I blame anyone, because like if I were in anyone's seat, I would feel the same way. And I think this really wraps back around to the experiment of a campaign that I had this as an idea for. Like I originally imagined this as I really wanted to do the like OG D&D 40 player group, which I knew 40 was going to be way too much. I knew that was never going to happen. But I was this style of campaign, I was hoping to get like maybe 15ish, maybe like at least like two decent groups, because this was supposed to be less so of a Lord of the Rings go on the epic journey type of quest, which is what it has since turned into. and it was supposed to just be that Diablo 2 World of Warcraft going on raids, and the main motivating factor was supposed to be everyone trying to get their numbers higher than everyone else's. Everyone else was supposed to try to get more magic items than everyone else, and just like going in dungeons and doing these missions to like level up their guy. But none of that really ever transpired. This sort of just ended up being a campaign, like just a normal, regular campaign with the like a core couple of people, like 1 to 3 people that like would show up every session, and then like some like auxiliary members would get switched in and out every once in a while. And they like instead of them being able to just go on dungeon crawls and like just jump in and start doing stuff and killing monsters, it just became like people jumping in and like having to listen to an hour of exposition about all these NPCs and places and characters that you know nothing about and don't care about at all because you haven't been there for any of this. Um, which is not great, not exactly what I wanted this to turn into. Uh, so I think like in a this kind of style group with who I'm working with, I with the one consistent like core group that you're mostly playing with, I need the classic like storytelling grand adventure type of game. And uh, because of where we are and how I did character creation, people's characters were just like made very quickly on a day of basis just to throw them immediately in the game so we could get them running in and killing monsters. And only a single player like Adrian Queenstone had an actual like idea for their character that they were coming into this campaign into, with like a backstory and motivations and stuff for me to like pull from and work off of for this local area we're in and to give people a reason to do stuff. So this has just become a campaign where there's one main character doing like all the story relevant things, and then everyone else is just sort of there. So yeah, like I've accidentally made this like grand adventure style campaign without following the core rule of that campaign, which is the characters come first and the campaign comes second, which is true of like any story ever. You like the story because of the characters in it, not because of whatever else. Everything else is secondary compared to the characters. If you don't care about the characters, it's like impossible to care about any following steps in the story. So I think as like what I have to do, I think this campaign is gonna just go on hiatus until such time that I can actually get like a big pool of players, because I don't really have that like competition. I don't have that like everyone trying to get to a higher level than other people. The main like motivation for people coming into sessions right now is just because there is a session and it's something to do. And then once people are sitting down and playing, it's like there's like you've got a reason to want to be there and get some XP, but there's less reason to want to like engage with the story and like try to do things, which again, the like it really was I fault myself for rushing. Well, not even that I think rushing character creation. I did character creation with players under the assumption that this was going to turn into a different kind of campaign than what it had become. So I think yeah, I'm gonna have to like hiatus this, and like I will restart the campaign when I've actually got like a decent number of people that are trying to, like 10 plus people, like if I have like two groups worth of people that are trying to like compete with each other and have that motivation of wanting to like outdo this other group, like maybe an A group and a B group I could work with. Um, but right now there's just like high level characters that are like sort of just running the show, and then other people that are there, and I can tell like there's a disincentive for the like people who are just like here and not directly tied into what is currently going on with the world. Uh, so I think for my current group, since I have like a classic D&D group style amount of people who want to come in and play, I'm gonna just have to start a game where we start with the characters. Everyone makes their characters, and we put like a good amount of time into figuring out what people like really want to be doing, rather than people picking stuff to like fill in slots, or just trying to get things like done over with quickly because everyone else there is sitting and ready to play a session, and now we're waiting on this person so that we can just start him like as soon as possible. Or when there's like that time restriction of like, okay, well, we have 30 minutes right now to make your character, so let's get this done before everyone else shows up, and then start the session. um Yeah, so I think a new campaign with the characters first, and everyone with a character that like is uh just that they feel strongly about. Uh Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be D&D, and I think a lot of people here were and again, like when anyone makes like among their first characters and they know nothing about the world that they're making a character for, so all that they know is like what they see in the book, which is class and race, so you pick that and then that becomes your entire defining features. uh Trying to think if I've got anything else to mention. I guess the new game does not necessarily have to be D&D. I guess, okay, what I really like, where the problems really start to arise, or a fundamental core of the issue, is that this campaign started as a brainchild of an idea that I had and I really wanted to force. I really like just wanted to run this like Diablo West Marches style, everyone racing to become as powerful as possible as quickly as possible. And even though I didn't have the right group dynamic, the right like player size, I just tried to make it work, and I just kept forcing this idea and forcing this type of game style. And at first I had the momentum of not having too long of a time in between each session, but now that I've had like a decent break and I've played, and like it's honestly, it's been like a little while since I've played multiple sessions of anyone else's campaign, but having been a player in someone else's campaign again and going back and watching just other people playing D&D on YouTube as well, which I know, comparison is the thief of joy or whatever, but I do think just partaking in other people's campaigns, I realized like the magic is not there. The like the zhuzh that D&D really is all about. It's like it's missing in this campaign. Um so I need to start from like square one with people. I need to like get my players together, and instead of just like just having this idea, running with it, and playing the session or playing this campaign. I need a session zero to really get like the uh, the like preferences of my players. I like another thing is that this is like my idea, and so I really wanted to see it play out and work the way that I had imagined in my mind, but that is not what engages other people. Like other people's ideas, their own ideas is what engages them. And I know like I'll have fun as the DM no matter what I'm running. Like I know as long as I am playing D&D that or not even as long as I am playing role playing game that people are engaged with and want to talk about and are like just very like eager to find out what's happening next and like what's going on with this, that, or the other, or like just that have like a true like magnetic connection with their character. uh like as long as any of these things are true, as long as people are like dying to play again, then I could be running anything and I'll be having fun with it. But if my players are just like not feeling it, if they're not like into it and engaged, then it's pretty much impossible for me as the DM to be into it and engaged. Uh, which again, it's not anyone's fault but my own for trying to, uh, just doing the old like when every hammer is a nail, when every problem is a nail, when your only tool is a hammer, whatever it is. I was just really, really trying to force a type of campaign that does not suit the group that I am working with. Not even that I don't think that the people in my group don't like enjoy this play style. It is just physically not possible with the number of players I currently have. I definitely like upon starting this campaign way overestimated the number of people I was going to be able to get into this. I really thought I was going to be able, like, I guess my ideal thought that I had, like, in my mind was that there were going to be, like, 15, 20 people in the campaign, and I do, like, a session a week with, like, five new players every single time and just totally cycling through. And there would also be that, like, amazement and wonder of like every time you show up to the table and play again, like finding out how the world has changed and what has occurred to all of these NPCs because of the actions of other parties, and like trying to complete dungeons before other parties and trying to steal treasure before other parties got to it. But since like three players or some number of players have just been the same in every single session, we never really got that experience. Um, which again, it's an availability, it's a scheduling thing. It is like no, like no one has done anything wrong. I just uh picked the wrong. Well, like you know, uh, I thought I was going to be able to run this type of campaign that did not end up playing out. Uh, but this has all been very negative so far. I do have players that are into RPGs, which is a good thing. I there is lots of hope and lots of potential here. I just need a good and proper campaign that fits with everyone and the players that I have. And honestly, this for myself has been the first time playing with a lot of people. So there was really no way for me to even know what was going to like be the type of campaign that people are into, or even like the availability that I was going to have to work with. But now that I know my players and now that I know the availability, now I can create a campaign that is going to actually be fun for everyone. So I need to just I need the campaign to not start as my idea, because now when things are bad and unfun, it's my fault because it is my campaign, which uh maybe this is a little bit of the game psychological manipulation nonsense, but I do mean it in the most positive and in the most like way to encourage the uh like to encourage everyone to engage and care as much as possible. But like I need to start with the players and what they want to play. I need to not just say like we are playing in French land and these are the political things that are going on and these are the bad guys and these are the types of situations you'll be dealing with. I need to do a session zero, come to my players and ask what kind of campaign does everyone want to play? Or should we do a wuxia martial arts shonen jump? Do people want to do a pirate adventure? Do people want to do a space game, or space station, or exploring planets? Whatever it is, and that way it's everyone else's idea and they're the ones planting the seed and they get to see how it grows. It's not me planting the seed and then sometimes I have to demand other people come over to water the plant for me. This time it's everyone else's child and they get to like raise it, and I'm just here as the referee, just making sure it all goes smoothly, which really is the role of the DM. I should not be trying to be the screenwriter who is forcing my friends to listen to my story, uh, holding them hostage. I should be the like person trying to help their ideas flourish and grow. So I need I need to start new campaign with a proper session zero, find out what kind of game people want to play and what kind of things they want to have going on. And then I need to sit down and really put some time into character creation. Not to say there not does not need to be like 5 story back pages or anything like that, but I do need to know the arc that you envision for this character, right? Because I need to be able to come up with like character beats that will help you see that through. Because like without the like just having a backstory really isn't like I could take it or leave it. That's really not what matters at all. The only thing that matters is the like future you see for that character and how we can like work together to have you acquire that future that you want for your character in the most interesting and dramatic way possible. Um and I could tell like no one, well, not to say no one really had like Humdu very much so has like a wanting to become a master, which is like a goal to work towards, but it's just the kind of thing of like I want to become really good at the thing that I do is just true for everyone, sort of. Um, so it's just but at least it is some like it is a goal to aspire towards. It is like an arc, uh even if we've seen it before, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like tropes exist for a reason because they work. uh so yeah, I think I'm gonna need to like just sit down, get a good idea for the campaign, really lock in the characters, and just play a like a good old fashioned adventure grand story, and just like proper plot campaign with ideas, so long as I have just a small number of people that are all consistently playing from week to week, like a modern D&D game usually works. Uh, so yeah, this is me saying the campaign is on temporary hiatus officially. The stamp is being placed. Um, which, it'll come back when, if this new campaign, if we only have people that are in this storm the castle campaign, if we have the people for it and they want to play it, then, like, so be it. We will play this campaign as God intended, well, as Gary Gygax intended, with just random people going on a mission just to get some loot and gold, and stop trying to do this hybrid of both doing that and also doing a good old, like, save the princess and go on an epic journey to do that story. So, all right, here is hoping for the best. Uh, Goodbye.